Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance.
Hi, this is Rupha Ramani and you're watching Firstpost. Now, welcome to the start of yet another week here on Firstpost, and there is a lot of cricket stories that is heading your way today. What are the many challenges that new captain at the helm of affairs at the Mumbai Indians Premier League franchise, Hardik Pandya, is set to face? It looks like quite the steep climb for him, with fans showing their disappointment. We also look ahead to the auctions that are set to take place in Dubai tomorrow. It's a mini auction, but there's lots in store. And of course, there's an exclusive interview that's coming up with the first and only brother-sister Grandmaster duo. All of that over the next half hour. But first, a look at all the headlines in Sports 360. India beat South Africa in the first match of the 3 ODI series in Johannesburg. Pacers Arshdeep Singh and Avesh Khan set up a convincing 8-wicket win. Left-armer Arshdeep took 5 for 37 and Avesh claimed 4 for 27 as South Africa crashed to 116 all out. Tamil Nadu's Sai Sudarshan and Shreyas Iyer hit half centuries, of course Sai making his ODI debut. Officials removed some fans on day 4 of the first test between Pakistan and Australia. In Australia, they had held a banner which read, "Freedom is a human right." This is the same message Usman Khwaja had written on his shoes during the first test match between, of course, Australia and Pakistan at the Optus Stadium. The message is in reference to the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict. Bangladesh claimed the maiden Under-19 Asia Cup title. They beat UAE by 195 runs in the Dubai Cricket Stadium in the final. After putting up 283 runs on board, Bangladesh bundled out UAE for 87. Ashikur Rahman Shibli hit a stunning 129 runs for Bangladesh. And a Premier League match between Bournemouth and Luton Town was abandoned. This was after Luton captain Tom Lockyer suffered a cardiac arrest in the middle of the match. The score was 1-1 when the 29-year-old collapsed on the pitch. Lockyer was seen carried off on a stretcher and fans were informed the match had been called off. Now, the Indian Premier League is in the news, and this is not just about the auction that is set to take place tomorrow. There are a lot of moves behind the scenes that is getting everyone to chatter about what the coming season will look like. At the center of it all is Hardik Pandya. The Mumbai Indians management made a stunning announcement of Hardik Pandya becoming their next captain, starting with the season coming up and taking over the helm of affairs from their long-standing captain Rohit Sharma. Let's first look at what Rohit has achieved as captain of the Mumbai Indians franchise. Now, it all began in 2013 when Mumbai Indians were in a bit of a slump. Ricky Ponting back then was in a rough phase and the franchise turned towards Rohit Sharma to set things right and take charge. And take charge he did. The romance lasted more than a decade. They won their first title that very year and Rohit and his team never looked back, winning 5 Indian Premier League titles in all till date. Rohit made a group of talented underachievers win IPL titles. He has an easy demeanor about him. He's got a certain way with the players. He had a great rapport with the senior foreigners in the setup as well. The Indian lads, of course, rallied around him, and though he wasn't quite like the MS Dhoni's mold of calmness, he had a manner about him that worked with just about everyone. What we know for sure is that this switch in captaincy is not something that's happened overnight. It was talked through before the World Cup even took place. The parties involved, the Mumbai Indians management, Rohit Sharma and Hardik Pandya were all well aware. But the news of the switch in captaincy has not gone down too well with the fans in particular. What immediately followed was a severe backlash from the many fans who have idolized Rohit. Since the announcement of Hardik as captain, the franchise that had more than 13.2 million followers on one platform alone dropped to 2.3 and counting. That's nearly 1 million followers who have showed their displeasure and annoyance at Hardik as captain. But it's not the fans or their expectations that's the biggest challenges that lies ahead for Hardik. What else then? Let's look at the facts. Rohit is 36. Any franchise that is looking to the future and is looking to build a team for the future will look at their next phase, what the team will shape up to be, who to follow. Rohit, and plan it in a way that the handover and transition is, in a sense, smooth. With Rohit still around and guiding Hardik, Chennai Super Kings, of course, tried that with Ravindra Jadeja the previous season, doing that under the guidance of MS Dhoni, and that didn't work out. Dhoni had to step back in. But in this case, it's entirely different. And Hardik seems like the logical option for a few reasons. One, Hardik wanted captaincy. That's the condition he had for the trade in the first place with Gujarat Titans. Two is that he's being touted to take over from Rohit Sharma in the shorter format for the country eventually. So now, when that will be is, of course, an interesting question, and that's something that we will hear of in the months to come. But what we know for sure is that according to the management and the Indian think tank, Rohit is the first choice of captaincy for India at the T20 World Cup that's scheduled next year. 3. Hardik has had great success with the Gujarat Titans franchise as skipper. He comes with that credibility of having led a team to success, winning the inaugural year itself and a final the following year, only losing to the Chennai Super Kings. So what are the challenges then that Hardik faces? 1. Acceptance. He left the franchise after injuries and staying away from the sport to come back now as captain. It will take a while for fans to accept him for who he is and to even step into the big shoes that he has to fill. 2. Managing a dressing room. The success at Gujarat Titans was possible because Hardik had the perfect foil in men like former India cricketer Ashish Nehra and team director Vikram Solanki, who know how to manage personalities in a dressing room and maintain a positive environment. Hardik will be walking into a side with too many stars, Indian and overseas, and to manage that will be his biggest challenge yet. A precursor to what looks like helming India's reigns in the future would be 3. How well he connects with his old new franchise all over again will be in fact the toughest challenge. It is in some sense starting all over again. It won't be easy and he will have to find a way around this to ensure that Mumbai Indians continues to remain the successful franchise it has proved to be over the years. Mumbai Indians have taken a bold step. Many wait for the final match, the final nail to make such changes and such dramatic changes in a setup. They have made a call to get ahead of the curve, something that other franchises are bound to face too. When an MS Dhoni finally decides to leave the field or a Virat Kohli steps away, fans will be tested, as they are now. It will be interesting to see how the next few months pan out, leading up to a very, very exciting Indian Premier League season. Speaking of which, the auction is scheduled to take place in Dubai tomorrow. Just a few quick key pointers to note that will be the highlight of the auction. 1. It's a mini auction, so key personnel for the future or smart buys for a short time only. 2. Recency bias is crucial, so us Aussies will go for a bit, considering they just won an ODI World Cup in India. 3. Quite a few teams looking for specialist fast bowler slots to be filled up. So guys like Mitchell Starc, Gerald Kuzia, Dilshan Madhushanka, Pat Cummins could go for some money. 4. Indian names, not too many big ones, but quite a few fast bowlers who are experienced, who know these conditions really well, could prove critical for teams looking for one, like Bengaluru, Lucknow, Gujarat. Shardul Thakur, Harshal Patel, Umesh Yadav maybe, to name a few, could get some interesting franchises to come in and bid. 5. Not too many picks for all-rounders going by the impact player rules. Nevertheless, a guy like Rachin Ravindran from New Zealand, who's had a fantastic World Cup, could spark off a decent bidding war. 6. Expect a lot of trades after the auction, as the window will reopen till a certain point before the IPL starts again. So these are some things to keep in mind. And of course, you could have that surprise uncapped player pick as well when the auction starts tomorrow. Now, we have heard of brothers playing the same sport, whether it's the Klitschko brothers in boxing or the War brothers for Australia in cricket. We've seen sisters ruling the sporting arena, like Serena and Venus Williams in tennis. Heard of father-son duos going on to play the same sport too. There are too many here to recount across sporting disciplines, across tennis, athletics, basketball. But what about a brother-sister combination? This pair is not only a rarity in India, but the world over. They are the first brother-sister pair to become Grandmasters. The brother won the Arjuna Award last year. The sister has followed it up with being recommended for the same award this year. The brother qualified for the prestigious Candidates Tournament, where top 8 players contest to challenge the chess world #1. And the sister has followed suit here too. Praggananda and Vaishali Ramesh Babu are fierce competitors at home, but egg each other on when they get out on the international stage. We caught up with the duo when they got back home for just a bit before taking off again to talk about the sport, their friendly rivalry, and much more. Well, thank you for joining us here on a very, very special interview today. Today, we're joined by two grandmasters, and it's tough to find one in India. And we've got two grandmasters, and both from the same household. It's really, really nice to be speaking to Praggananda and Vaishali Ramesh Babu joining us from Chennai. Thank you so much for speaking to Firstpost, guys.
Yeah, it's our pleasure.
Thank you.
I have to ask you, who's the more competitive one between the two of you? I want both of you to answer. And Praggu, is it okay if I call you Praggu?
Yes, yeah, it's fine.
Perfect. So who's the more competitive, or who's the fierce competitor out of the two of you?
Yeah, I would say probably me. Yeah. More competitive.
And when both of you are playing, have you guys played each other quite a few times at home?
Yeah, we have played. I mean, we play. We discuss a lot about chess at home, and we play also. In tournaments, we faced few times.
And who's normally the one who gives each other the tough time if one of you loses at home in any of the sort of times that you roughly play up or have a game against each other at home, casual? Who gives the other a tough time, or who ribs, or who pokes more fun compared to both of you?
I don't know. Probably me. Yeah, because I'm competitive also. I tend to tease a lot if I win or something.
But both of you have had some amazing moments in your career individually. I'm going to come to Vaishali first before coming to you, Praggu. Vaishali, more recent because obviously you're only the third Indian woman to be a grandmaster. So first part of the question I want to ask you is, you obviously speak to a lot of the fellow chess players in the country. What's the general consensus? Is it harder to attain that, because we know you have to reach a certain number of points, we know the process, but is it that much harder here in India?
Yeah, like many players have different like issues, maybe like to growing up. I mean, for me, I was fortunate. Like I had sponsors to play tournaments, trainers around to help, like to help me for my parents. So I've been fortunate, like to have very good people around me to help and motivate me. Even when I had like bad events, they are there to support me. So I've been lucky in that way, and yeah, there are things like okay, now we have like a lot of tournaments in India, like grandmaster tournaments,
Yeah.
and like post pandemic, like there are a lot of interest in chess in general, and we have like a lot of talents coming up. So like we are going to see many more grandmasters, like women's chess also, I believe.
That's
I can just add this. I think pandemic has helped chess grow much more. Now there are bigger audience, like with Queen's Gambit, also this streaming things, and as helped the chess boom, and now we see that people actually recognize chess and recognize chess player also. So it's a very good thing as a chess player to see that.
Vaishali, recently we've heard that you're going to be nominated for Arjuna Award, and that's like a huge honor for sure. Has that also how do you feel about that, and how happy does that make you feel, and how excited are you about receiving that award?
Yeah, I got to know about it some time ago, and it felt great to hear about it. Like last year, Prag won the award, and hopefully me this year. So I mean, it feels really good. I mean, it's such a prestigious award.
What's the one thing that you've learned from Vaishali professionally? And if I could ask Vaishali as well, and if Vaishali could answer, what's the one thing that you've picked up from Praggu's skills, or Praggu's game? If both of you could answer. Tough one, eh?
Yeah, tough one. Nothing comes to my mind right now.
Yes,
We
I
just-
learned anything.
No. There have been things, but yeah, right now we just we just traveled today, so I couldn't think of something quick. I think in general, I think our discipline is very good. If she wants to do something, she will do it. So that's kind of something that I picked it up.
Vaishali, your turn.
I think like with Prag, I know him for, okay, I'm seeing him, and biggest quality is like the win or loss, like be it the one game or the tournament victory or tournament losses. Like if he is not playing well, like he's the same person. He doesn't take us to art or ed. Like even if after winning tournament, like he'll be the same, and even if he doesn't do well somewhere, like he'll be the same. Like it's not the same with me. Like if I'm not doing well, it will be very difficult for me to handle. Like I might spoil in the subsequent rounds. But from him, I think I admire him that very much. Recently, I've been uh, trying to be like that, and yeah.
That's fine. That's all right. Just a couple of quick questions and we can wrap this up for you. The other thing I obviously also wanted to ask is what's the toughest aspect of the sport itself? If you had to sort of, speak to someone who doesn't know much about playing the sport or doesn't watch so much, what would you say is the toughest aspect of being a chess champion?
Yeah, the sport itself is very tough. Basically, like you just have to keep on working. It may seem like from outside that after you become a good player, like it may seem like there is nothing more to learn, but actually you just have to keep on practicing, and there are always new things coming up. As I said, there are live games going on now, and there may be some new ideas to update ourselves from. So so we have to keep on working basically till we retire, and so that's one of the toughest things. And also I think that's mentally draining also, because you have to prepare at home, and then you have to prepare before the game. You have to play the actual game, which itself will take 4-5 hours, and then again have to look at what went wrong and have to correct it. So it's a very tough game, but I really enjoy doing it. And I would say chess is a game which it's a beautiful game which an 8-year-old can play against a 80-year-old. So that's something I really that's I think what makes chess beautiful. Yeah.
Very nicely put. Vaishali, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, as Prag clearly mentioned, like chess is so vast. It's like an ocean. It's so never ending. Like, if you see Anand sir, he has played chess for 40 plus years, and he still continues to do so. And he still thinks that there is so much to learn in the game. Like every day, this moment we are speaking, and there is some new game, new ideas happening around the world. So we have a lot to update ourselves. And as Prag clearly mentioned, nicely put.
Australia and Pakistan are engaged in a test series. This is happening in Australia, and Pakistan doesn't have too many fond memories of touring Australia. Their last two series have been whitewashes. It is a difficult terrain to contest, in no doubt. And while the threat when it comes to playing the Aussies in Australia is more often the pace battery, this time the biggest threat has been Nathon Lyon. What a journey Lyon has had, from the most modest beginnings of being a groundsman who took care of pitches and grounds to joining the elite 500 wickets club. It is indeed an incredible one, and looks like there is no stopping him. Earlier, cricket enjoyed the rivalry between Shane Warne, Anil Kumble and Muttiah Muralidharan. Now with Nathon Lyon and R. Ashwin being up there when it comes to test cricket, it is a delicious battle that will always hold a special place amidst all the mad T20 mayhem.
Australia stamped its authority already in the first test against Pakistan. One man stood tall in that win. Australian off-spinner Nathon Lyon notched up a landmark achievement. He dismissed Pakistan's Fahim Ashraf to claim his 500th test wicket. It didn't stop at that. He knocked off Amir Jamal in the same over to breach that mark. Now he's part of an elite list that has only 7 others who've achieved this feat. The 36-year-old veteran is part of the club that has legends like Muralidharan, Shane Warne, Anil Kumble, Glenn McGrath, James Anderson, to name some. Lyon had to review the decision by the umpire to get the landmark wicket. And seconds after the decision was overturned, he was surrounded by all his teammates to celebrate what was a historic moment for Lyon and Australia. His teammates patted his head and hugged him for reaching a milestone mark in Test cricket. Before the match at Perth, Lyon said he wished to continue playing until Australia's next Ashes, where they will travel to the UK in 2027.
I'm not putting a number on it. I want to play cricket for as long as I can. Haven't won in India, haven't won in England. That's two places that I want to do. So with the injury happening a couple of months ago, I feel like there's a passion there to keep going and keep trying to get better.
This just reflects Lyon's commitment to the game without being constrained by numerical benchmarks or numbers. He wants to keep playing till the desire exists. With his impressive record and back-to-back fifers in matches, Lyon might soon surpass his compatriot Glenn McGraw, who scalped 563 wickets. His teammates who've seen him up close know how much effort he's put in. And there's a certain key skill set that they say separates him from the rest of his peers.
I mean, one thing he's been very good at is just his continued skill at his main skill. His ability, he's got a natural ability, a very gifted ability of bowling a very good off-spin ball. The amount of revs he gets, it's almost impossible for anyone else to get that amount of revs. So that skill alone is almost unteachable. I mean, it's very hard. I've played with a lot of off-spinners, and there's no one that can get that shape on the ball with that sort of 45-degree angle seam.
That brings us to where he stands amongst the Aussies after picking up 500 wickets. He's just the third Australian to reach the milestone after Shane Warne and McGrath. But that's not all. He's only the fourth spinner, along with Muthaiya Muralidharan, the late Shane Warne and Anil Kumble, to achieve this milestone. He's the leading wicket taker in World Test Championship. He now has a whopping 23 5-wicket hauls in his career. He's also one of 6 players alone to feature in 100 consecutive tests for their respective teams. Earlier this year, he missed the Ashes for the first time in a decade. This list of achievements is incredible. Almost 2 decades ago, the cricket fraternity witnessed a legendary rivalry, Shane Warne versus Muthaiya Muralidharan. 20 years on, there seems to be a similar one brewing between Lyon and R. Ashwin.
And how does he compare with Ravi Ashwin?
Different sets of skills. I think Nathon Lyon's off-spin delivery is better. But, I mean, they both have their strengths and weaknesses, obviously. Ash has played a lot in the subcontinent, so he knows those conditions well. He knows how to get wickets when there isn't bounce available. And I mean, but you look at Nathon Lyon's last outing in the subcontinent, and he was very, very good. Very good, like the amount of spin, changing his angles on the crease, stuff. They're just different sets of skills, and I think that's just a product of different conditions.
Perhaps if Lyon didn't suffer a calf injury, the 500th wicket would have come in earlier. The men's Ashes series wouldn't have ended in a 2-all draw either. But now, 6 months on, he's back up on his feet on his home soil, ready to keep the fans counting the remarkable moments he's bound to create.
It's time for our parting shot called The Last Serve. You're almost here closing Firstpost. Now, Virat Kohli is making a splash. And no, it's not in cricket. We told you about his speedboating adventure. His electric racing team, Blue Rising, has joined the E1 World Championship. It's a venture that is pretty close to his heart for more reasons than one. Take a look.
This league or an event like this will have is that, as I said, the emissions are none, even the noise pollution when you compare electric mobility to other engines. This was one of the major reasons why the collaboration happened, because it's exactly what, as I said, what we believe in, what I believe in, and I'm personally very excited for this.
That does it here on Firstpost today. I'll of course catch you again tomorrow. There is that big IPL auction as well. Tomorrow's we'll get you a lot of updates and analysis from that too. For now though, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.